Yeah. All right, we back. We back. Mic check. Put it in the chat. Is my mic good or not? Put it in the chat. It's always a pleasure to come together, you know what I'm saying, on this platform and spread some, you know, spread some good words. Um my name is Marvin. I'm a multiple cancer survivor that have survived cancer multiple times. Um Diagnosed three cancers in 2021. Came back a year later, going through the process again. So I'm sharing my experiences. Okay, thank you. I'm sharing my experiences in hopes that it can help somebody else that's going through this, or if your family member is going through this, you can kind of understand where they're coming from and what their experiences is, so you can help them in any way possible. You know, we gotta help each other out. All right. I want to talk about one of the most important things when it comes to cancer. One of the most important thing is the ability to be diagnosed in an early stage of any cancer diagnosis. That is the secret to success. I've experienced it myself, being able to not self-diagnose, but being aware of my situation, which allowed me to follow up with the correct doctors and being present in your care, no matter what it is. It doesn't have to be cancer. A lot of people, I don't want to get it misunderstood that this channel only talks about cancer, mainly, but not only. The things that we talk about, you can associate it to whatever else that's going on in the world, whatever else other disease process you might be going through, diabetes, hypertension, whatever it is that you're going through. Cancer is one of the worst things out there, and it is comebackable. Is that a word? You're able to reverse the process, not reverse the process, but you're able to defeat defeat the monster that is cancer. But there's a certain ways you have to go about it. Um, I always say it doesn't matter the situation that you're in. It doesn't matter what your diagnosis is, because I always say man or machine cannot tell the future. They can only tell you what's wrong with you right now. So you could always change your outcome. You don't have to be stuck with a diagnosis that was given to you for whatever reason. Not a lot of the time, but some of the time, diagnosis can be wrong. That's why people always talk about, oh, second, third opinion. Sometimes the diagnosis is wrong. Sometimes you need to seek that second or third opinion. That's gonna pretty much put you on the right track, or the diagnosis does not need any immediate intervention. Sometimes there's a wait and watch period. What's the purpose of putting you through a treatment that at the moment is not going to really be effective because you haven't really reached the level where things are bad as yet. Sometimes there's a lot of watch and see that things like benign tumors. You can have a tumor in your body um, and not be cancerous, right? Overproduction of cells usually um, is what a tumor is. Sometimes it's cancerous, sometimes it's not. So, sometimes, when you get a certain diagnosis, that doesn't mean that that's the end, or, you can't come back from it. You can't reverse the situation. Diabetes, a lot of these things are reversible, and nowadays they have different things that you can do. You can take a shot, which help your situation. It helps, reverse the process. Long term effect, we'll see about that. But currently, these things work, right? These things work. The shot work, and whatever else, exercising, changing your eating habits, those are very, very important. Those are very, very important things that we have to incorporate. And if you're not doing it, you need to start. Please don't wait too late before you really start trying to move around and take care of yourself, because it's gonna be harder to pick up new habits as you grow older. Can teach a old dog new tricks. You can, but it's gonna be hard. Okay, so You got to be active in your life. Then you got to also be active in your patient care, in your following up with the doctor. Make sure you make these appointments. Make sure that what I'm saying, you take time off from work to go see a doctor, to go get a checkup. A lot of people put work before their health, and that is the negative. That's a no-no. You cannot put your work in front of your health. You have to be persistent. You have to be active in your patient care and also in your diagnosis. Just make sure that you have some, if not you, somebody, wife, somebody that keeps on top. Somebody in a relationship always keeps mind of certain things and make sure appointments are being made. So that is very, very, very important. And there's no data. I'm waiting. There we go. Come on. There we go. Wow. And I really don't understand what's going on, man, because I'm wired in. I'm wired in. Am I back? Am I back to normal? Man, am I back to normal? That's it. You can hear me on the live? Okay. I was freezing for a second, so you know what I'm saying? I was about to disconnect and I'll reconnect again, but you saying you can still hear me. So I'm gonna just keep going. But yeah, I hate it when that happens, man. The connection sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I'm wired in, so I don't expect these interruptions, but it is what it is. We can't control everything, so we can't control everything. So we're just gonna try to log back in and get back on course. Okay, so we was talking about things that relieve stress. You gotta have your stress relievers. You gotta have certain things you do that's gonna put you in the right put you in the right place. After the end of a rough day, you gotta have something to take the stress away of dealing with whatever it is you have to deal with. Man, whether it be some kind of diagnosis related or just family stuff. So I just want to touch on that. And also, one of the most important things, please donate blood if you are a blood donator. Thank you very much. If you have considered it, please do. It's very important to a lot of people out there. So one of the things, like I said, the most important thing about cancer is, and I'm hope that I'm good. My signal is good. One of the things that is really, very, very, the most important thing is early detection. There's no way you can go about fighting cancer or giving yourself the best opportunity if you're not putting yourself in a situation where you can, detect cancer early and find out exactly what's wrong and when it's wrong. Because time is your secret weapon, especially cancer. Time is what gives you an advantage, right? The quicker, faster you're able to be diagnosed. Like I said, sometimes these diagnoses could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to just don't every diagnosis is not correct. But your safest and your best way. Hey, what's going on, Rose? It's good seeing you too, man. Yeah, you see, hey, you know what's funny? Yeah, your friend did my shape up. Yeah. So yeah, she hooked me up. She took the top off because as my hair grow back, um one of the things that have been happening since 2021 is as my hair grow back, I start getting sores in my head. I think it's because the hair follicles is going back into my scalp, and as I sleep, it applies pressure and causes my scalp to develop sores and, you know what I'm saying, give me a headache sometimes. So I gotta cut the hair, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Hey, what's up, ma? You say I'm looking good? Yeah, appreciate it, appreciate it. And so, as and it's a side effect from the chemo, is that my scalp developed these tiny bumps, and you know what I'm saying, I always gotta cut my hair. I used to have dreads, imagine that, all the way down to my back, and because of this cancer. Funny thing, when I had the cancer at first, my mom is on here, she can vouch for me. She was like, maybe this gonna be one of them situations where your hair don't fall out, and everything just goes by real quick, and I have no side effects. And that was a wish. That was something that, because in the beginning my hair was solid. My hair didn't go anywhere for the first week or so. So, I was like, all right, we was confident that maybe my hair won't fall out. But a couple of days after that, each like a dread knot, a dread just started falling out. It started falling out by the dreads, and I'm walking around like, oh, it's not losing my hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm waking up, dreads missing, walking around the house, dreads falling out your head. You know what I'm saying? So that was the first cut she had to give me. But I had dreads all the way down to the back. You know what I'm saying? But the situation is now my hair cannot grow back for, it's not. I mean, I hope, hopefully it catches itself back. But the sores is the problem, because the sores right now, as my hair, after going through my second chemo treatment, as my hair comes back, and this area right here is very dark. I have a lot of hair growth in this area, but back here it's like it's much more lighter. You know what I'm saying? So just to even make it look, what I'm saying, more presentable, a cut is necessary. But I try to grow it back, but at the moment, nah. Certain side effects that are there, and that's one of them for me. One of the ones. Um yeah, man, appreciate you jumping on with us, man. Appreciate you jumping on with us. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that watches live, that watches afterwards, that has subscribed to the channel, that always leave a comment once, or doesn't matter how many times, but leaves a comment. I really appreciate it, especially to the subscribers. This y'all is why I do this. You know what I'm saying? To try to bring us together so we can help defeat cancer. The people with cancer teaming up with the people that don't have cancer together. What I'm saying, we could figure out not a solution, but a better way to approach it. And this is why today I want to talk about the importance of early detection, because, like I said, that is one of that is like the most important thing at the moment, because one of the reasons it's the most important thing is you want to get to the cancer before it migrates to somewhere else in your body, right? And majority, I think it's saying 90% of the people that don't recover from a cancer diagnosis are the ones that have the cancer spread from one area to the next, right? Prostate cancer is one of them things where you don't die from, but majority of the men die from the cancer going to somewhere else in the body and causing more problem. So two things: when you identify the cancer in the earliest point, that's your best advantage, right? That's when it's easier to kill. That's when the cancer, number is not in a huge number, so it's more manageable. It's easier to kill the cancer when it's not like, a lot, right? And also to catch it before it moves somewhere else in your body is very, 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 very important, right? Because in some cases, cancer, it comes from anywhere. Sometimes you don't know where I mean, I don't know where mine's came from. You know what I'm saying? A lot. Some cancer is hereditary, and some of it has to do with the choices you make, and sometimes the places you live, the exposure to certain chemicals, and you know what I'm saying, and things like that nature. One example is 9/11. Like, a lot of people ended up with cancer just from being in that environment because of all of those chemicals and all of those things that you know they experience. Lung cancer, right? Lung cancer is one of the biggest killers out there between men and women. Lung cancer, right? So even this is what I've noticed, right? Colorectal cancer, death is almost the third of lung cancer, right? It's almost the third. Lung cancer kills 100 and almost 130,000 people a year, right? A quarter million people get diagnosed with lung cancer. So from what I'm understanding is, um, you are at more risk of getting cancer from what you breathe and not what you eat. You're at more risk from getting from cancer from what you breathe in. You know what I'm saying? More so than what you eat, because much more people are dying from lung cancer than they are colorectal. A lot of cancers out there, breast cancer is like one third. Like lungs cancer is the biggest killer out there. So it just come to me like, it's crazy how the data is saying more people die from what they breathe than what they eat. Now, the things you eat, it can affect the development of breast cancer, or prostate cancer. Like, the things you eat can have effect on your organs. But a lot of colorectal cancer is directly correlated to what you eat, because of the polyps that I'm saying, that ended up being produced in your intestine, because I'm saying, of for whatever reason. That's one of the things that, as we grow, we have to be aware of. Getting your colonoscopy, right? And doing these things, that's going to give you a chance. Colonoscopy, I think at 40, 45 is when you got to start doing the colonoscopies. So it's just something that I've noticed. Like, wow, can you imagine that? Is more of a risk. You die more from what you breathe, more so than what you eat, and that is crazy. So the body itself has over 200 different cells in the body, right? You got your blood cells, you got the white blood cells, red blood cell, platelets. Like, I have a problem with platelets because I'm not able to make them as much, and they only last about 12 to 14 days. But miraculously, and I say that because today is Monday, my last refill of platelets was Friday. And usually when I go to the cancer center, my platelets drop to about 10,000, 12,000. Once I get below 20,000, I got to get a refill. I got to get blood transfusion, right? So I went in Friday and I think I was at about 12,000. They gave me about 20, 30,000. And here I am Monday and I'm still above 20,000. And 3 days later, my blood is also above the level where they would have to do a transfusion. Today's one of the first days in January, since January, that I've actually went 3 days without getting a platelet transfusion. Now, what does this mean? I couldn't tell you exactly what it means, but it just, to me, it means like my body is getting better. My health is getting better. My recovery is getting better. I always say, like, and I've realized, like, one of my superpowers, or my superpower, is my ability to rehab. My ability to heal, I think, is my superpower. Because the way I feel today, I feel real good. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that, though I've only been in the hospital for about a month, and I think about a week or two, I feel really good. And this is what I be talking about sometimes. When you have to undergo, because when you there's different chemos, there's different chemo treatments for cancer, and some of you may have to go you have to go 6 times every 3 weeks to get this chemo. And every time you get the chemo, it beats you down. But it affects everybody differently. Some people are going to go through a lot of pain, a lot of problems, a lot of neuropathy, a lot of tingling in their fingers, and a lot of side effects. and some people are not. Some people are able to go through their treatment every 3 weeks like clockwork, and go on with their life, and it's like nothing changed. I know now that might be because of early detection, because I know you heard stories about people that went to the hospital for, and this is what I want to hear. This is what I expect, is for you to go to the hospital for a regular checkup. And, well, I don't want to expect this, but for you to go to the hospital and for a regular checkup, and you're told that something, this is developing, and you can do something about it before it actually damages the organ, or, oh, well, okay, yeah, yeah, we appreciate that, Rose. We appreciate that, man. We think about y'all all the time too, man. Definitely, definitely. And this is what makes, what I'm saying, this is what makes the world, that's what makes us better, is, what I'm saying, us linking up with each other, and keeping in touch, and you hopping on, and, what I'm saying, and keeping that energy back and forth, because that's what we're doing right now. We giving that energy back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is what we do here. We give that energy, that extra boost, the energy that you might need. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, you might have in one of those days, and, what I'm saying, you come in and pop on the podcast, and it's like, okay, the information is like, new to me, or I have use for it, or, you know what I'm saying? You might have somebody, that's dealing with it, and you can help them. So, you know what I'm saying? This is why we do this, to try to leave a mark somewhere, and to try to change the situation, and try to, change. We trying to change the world, basically. We trying to change the world, because information is the key. And a lot of growing up, a lot of people didn't speak about, I'm saying, certain things. So, what I'm saying, this is why we're here. So, thank you again, Rose, for tuning in, and, always in the comments, man. You one of them ones. All right. So, yeah, we definitely love hearing from you. So, yeah, we have a lot of cells in our bodies, right? And everything, every cell has its own expiration date. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, platelets last only about 12 to 14 days. Blood lasts, if I'm not mistaken, up to 100 days. I gotta double check to make sure my numbers is correct. But I think blood lasts, much longer. So, that's why I don't need a blood transfusion as much. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's going on, Winsome? Winsome is in the chat. You are one of the strongest people I know, praying for you as always. I appreciate that so much, Winsome. That's Winsome is one of my nurses, man. When I was diagnosed, one of my cancer nurses on the cancer floor. I know what that is. Cancer floor, everybody that's, what I'm saying, cancer related. That's our floor. She was one of my nurses, and, what I'm saying, I'm always say, man, the kind of care, like, if you're not cut out to be, if you're not a certain type of person, don't go into certain fields. You know what I'm saying? Because the kind of care that's required to bring somebody back from almost death is like, come on, man. You have to really be selfless. And half of the reason I'm here is because of how, what I'm saying, these nurses, I guess, what I'm saying, they must be getting, besides them doing it because they love doing it, what I'm saying, I'm like, yo, they must be getting paid pretty good, because I got taken care of real good. But, saying half of that is just from the kindness of people's heart. And Winston was one of those people that always looked out for me. Always, even when she doesn't have to. Even after I I was, what I'm saying, I got out the hospital, she kept up with me, what I'm saying, and she made sure that I'm okay. And I'm saying, and I have this issue sleeping with my left arm in the air. And till this day, whenever she and my wife speaks, she always remind her, like, yo, make sure you tell him to keep his hand down. And half of the time, I still need to be told, like, to, what I'm saying, restrain from sleeping with my hand over my head, because that causes complications. So, big up to Winsome, man. Big up, and I hope you doing good where you at. I pray that, what I'm saying, everything is working out for you, and, I'm saying, you're doing, and everything is happening how you want it to. So, yeah, much respect to Winsome, man. All nurses, all the doctors. I always tell you, everybody in the building. You know what I'm saying? I even spoke to my boy Jerry, not too long ago. Everybody, Devin, everybody in the building, like, is people that I met. They are some amazing people, man. So, we need more people like you, um, in the industry. But it's just some great people out there, some beautiful people out there still. You know what I'm saying? The world, you might think the world is ending, and you know what I'm saying, everything is negative. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of positive. What? Oh yeah, yeah, and big up to the PCAs as well. Much respect to the PCAs as well, because you see them much more than you see anybody else. You know what I'm saying? They take care of your daily wants and, you know what I'm saying, whatever you need. So PCAs are like very, very important also in the healing process. You know what I'm saying? And one of the most important part is when you don't have that that kind of environment where you have somebody staying with you, because you know what I'm saying, you can have people stay with you in the hospital. If you don't have somebody staying with you, or at least coming to see you every day, every other day, you know what I'm saying, if you don't have that, the PCAs, the nurses, they do a great job in like substituting, you know what I'm saying, for the time being, while until somebody comes there, to check up on you and make sure you're okay. You know what I'm saying? It's a heck of a job, to take care of grown adults, man. It's like, it's almost like you babysitting an adult, basically. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a lot, and you have to deal with, like, several different patients. You know what I'm saying? Because of, you know what I'm saying, whatever your job is for that day. But yeah, PCAs, everybody. Big ups to the hospital and everybody that's there, right? So the cells they die, right? And when they die, because and this is what people need to understand. Your body is exposed to cancer a lot. You know what I'm saying? But your body is able to defeat those cells. You know what I'm saying? Your body's always fighting off cancer cells, right? But your body is not gonna win all the battles, and sometimes your physical situation is not helping your cells or your immune system. Some things, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes you might affect your own immune system to where it can't execute or do what it's supposed to, right? So, you know, the body fights off these cancer cells, you know what I'm saying, on a daily basis, and majority of the time it's winning, right? So when the cells do, when the time run out for that cell, like the platelets only have 12 certain days, it dies. It dies from being damaged. It dies from, um, you know, time for it to die. But for whatever reason, sometimes it doesn't go that way. Some cells they go through mutation, and this affects them not dying, and also it helps them to grow rapidly. You know what I'm saying, out of control. That's basically what cancer is the rapid growth of a cell that's supposed to die, but you know what I'm saying, find a way to keep going. And like I said, it seems as if we cancer is affects us more when based on what we breathe, right? There's more people that die from lung cancer. Three times as many people die from lung cancer than any other cancer out there, right? So, and even prostate cancer. So I'm like, well, it's not obvious, but it seems as if you are more likely to catch cancer from breathing rather than eating stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the cells are supposed to die, but they don't, right? And the worst case scenario is cells don't die, they build, and you don't realize you have cancer until you see. Right? There's many ways to check for cancer. You could go through scans, but the easiest way and one of the most important ways is a physical test, the physical exam. You know what I'm saying? Females are told to do the breast exam to check for cancer. And the craziest thing is, men can also get breast cancer. Right? Men can also get breast cancer. I know it's crazy, but I think almost 3,000 men every year is diagnosed with breast cancer. And I met someone the last cancer survivor event I was at. I met this gentleman that actually had breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, like the things you find out. You know what I'm saying? The more you're in a certain environment, because that was never a thought that I would have. Like, okay, maybe, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, men do get breast cancer. Almost 3,000 men are diagnosed every year with breast cancer. Right? Amazing that it seems. So, um, being able to find out what's going on before it's too late, before it moves somewhere else. Like I said, that's your advantage. That is how you're gonna get ahead and, you know what I'm saying, beat the cancer, you know what I'm saying, that you're diagnosed with. So right, they, the mutation that the cells go through, that's what does it, right? So for the I think 2024, I think almost half, it's crazy, almost half a million people passed away because of cancer. A lot of them is because of their age, but a lot of them aren't, because I experienced recently in my lifetime, I've lost over four friends to cancer that are in close to my age or younger. I always say this. I have lost more friends to cancer than gun violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how something you think is so far away is just around you and you don't even know it. And it's kind of rough to imagine a family continuing without their loved one because of something that you pretty much you can't do anything about. A lot of these other diseases that we die from, what I'm saying, heart issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, like these things, not all, not type 1, type 2, whatever, but a lot of these things we can control and can have an effect on. Cancer is one of the things that you can't, what I'm saying, you have no control over it. At least if you're exercising and doing certain things, there's like no chance of you getting diabetes. There's no chance of you having hypertension. And if you don't eat too greasy of a food, you know what I'm saying, or things like that, you ain't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, your cholesterol and all that kind of other stuff. Like, some things are avoidable, but cancer is one of those things that you can't avoid. Especially when I was trying to do, I thought that I was doing everything in my power. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was living the best life possible. You couldn't tell me nothing, right? Before I was diagnosed, and diagnosed with three cancers at that. You couldn't tell me nothing that I wasn't living life the right way. And, because, of how I was eating, of, what I'm saying, how I was drinking freshly squeezed every day, nothing but coconut water, like no sodas, you know what I'm saying? Years, I went years without touching a soda. You know what I'm saying? How many sodas have I drunk within the past month? It's been more than a couple. All right. I've kind of come to a conclusion that, experiences is what makes you better at life, right? And my closest experience is you're not gonna die. I mean, not die, but you're not gonna, like, one soda, two soda, you know what I'm saying, or one soda a week is not gonna, like, not gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna, like, do that much, bad to you. So because of your body's ability to clean itself, you know what I'm saying? Fasting is one of those things too that also helps, which what I'm saying, I can't do that to myself at the moment because I have to put on as much weight as possible to get to this bone marrow transplant in 2 weeks. But fasting is one of those things that um, helps the body recover. You know what I'm saying? After I was diagnosed, not even diagnosed, but last summer, right? Last summer, I pushed myself as much as I could last year, and after recovering, you know what I'm saying, and finding out what my baseline was after me recovering from cancer, I pushed myself. I was outside. I was farming, literally outside, digging up dirt for hours upon hours. 5, 6, 7 hours a day outside in the sun, trying to push myself, trying to push my body to see how far or how much I can withstand because of where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see how much of the old me can I get back. And I was out there for hours, man. I was out there for the whole entire summer, every day. You can ask my nephew. He comes to me right now to us, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Uncle, can we go outside? Can we go outside? I'm like, at the moment, we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta get ready for this bone marrow transplant. I can't risk myself being sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't expose to a lot of bacteria that's just being outside. So, but last year, man, I was out there pushing myself every day for like 6, 7 hours trying to see what my body could tolerate in the hot sun, farming. You know what I'm saying? Doing some serious farming outside. And it was amazing to see, you know what I'm saying, what we was able to grow within a couple months. Like we had everything you could think of: squash, corn, zucchini, berries, like anything you can think of, we had it outside growing watermelon, right? So that just goes to show the body's ability to build back, right? My body came back to me in a way that, you know what I'm saying, it was close to what it was before. You know what I'm saying? So, pushing yourself and seeing, you know what I'm saying, what was capable is important. You can't you got to change things every now and then. Sometimes you can't do the same thing you did last year, this year. Right? You got to try to improve on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And as we get older, we have to make sure we're active. We got to make sure that we stay active. Um, because of everything that we know we need. For everybody knows, the older you get, the bones gonna get stiffer. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to start something as you get older. But um, good thing is there are ways to find out if something is wrong. There's multiple ways. You can, like I said, the physical exam. You could, learn how to, or at least know how to examine yourself properly, so you can check for um cancer in the breast. And the way you check for breast cancer, it's kind of the same way you check the rest of your body. If you're feeling and feel lumps or anything abnormal, and the same way you can you're because like I said, cancer is a buildup of cells. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can look at your body and tell, like, there's a lump here or there's a lump there. Something is off balance. You or your doctor can tell that something is wrong, just from a physical examination. You don't have to, go under a MRI or anything like that. You can just, from outside, outside the body from the physical exam, be able to see that something is wrong, right? So that is the one of the first, saying, one of the most important things. So, I'm saying, you have to be aware of your body, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times when we're not, when we're not in the realm of exercising, we don't really pay much attention. But if you're doing, if you're active, you notice more about your body because you pay more attention to, you know what I'm saying, your physique as you get better. Yo, what up, Zab? What's going on, brother? Yeah, man. God bless you too, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. My boy Zab right there, long time friend, long time friend. Yeah, man. Much respect, bro. So yeah, being able to, you know, get a physical checkup, being able to understand that you can actually, maintain your body physically even before you go, you go see a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you go see a doctor, there's no evidence of a physical checkup. So, that's when you go deeper with the scans and the MRIs and all these other stuff. And these things, they're not gonna automatically offer you an MRI or, what I'm saying, or anything, unless, there's a reason for it. And a lot of times pain would be the reason for yeah, bro, you already know, man. I'm definitely staying strong. I'm getting stronger day by day. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying strong and I'm getting stronger. You know what I'm saying? Um, because I know what I'm capable of. Like I said, I was outside in this hot sun for 6, 7 hours a day, so I know what my body's capable of. So I'm trying to get back to at least that. It won't be no farming this summer, that's for sure. But at least hopefully next year I could get some callaloo going and some peppers. You know what I'm saying? Because, so now that I realize my superpower is my ability to recover. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just it's just a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be here, to still be here. And it's a blessing to continue spreading, the awareness about what's going on. Yes, yo, I'm telling you, that garden was everything. And one of the things that I realized, what I'm saying, cancer, like what I've been dealing with for the past couple of years, like that straight up cut my income. Basically, I gotta worry about can't worry about going to work later for work. I got to be alive. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I could work under these circumstances, right? And even after I came back, my physical, I was not able to, be around certain people. I still was in COVID mode afterwards. So not having that much funds affects you. But once you realize the sun is free, you know what I'm saying? You have a decent sized backyard, drop some seeds, get you some fertilizer, and you be surprised what you can grow, man. Trust me, man. If you haven't done any kind of gardening, you know what I'm saying? Try it. The sun is free. That's the most important thing. And in this the way things are, you have to find out what's the advantage. Like, where do I get an advantage? Where? And one advantage is the sun is free. You know what I'm saying? And nothing is more powerful than the sun. And um, there are things that you can grow indoors. You know what I'm saying? With the lights, like I have a couple lights. Like, I'm a cultivator. You know what I'm saying? There's things you can grow indoors, and there's things you can grow outdoor. Outdoor is massively much more, like 10 times fold more so than going indoors. So you have to take advantage of that free sunlight, man, and you'd be surprised what it's capable of doing. Because we love callaloo in my household, so we grow callaloo like as soon as, because right now I'm trying to pop some seeds, like not me, but I'm trying to get fam to pop some seeds so we can start, what I'm saying, growing callaloo from now. Because once the sun is out, what I'm saying, anything green is gonna grow. So what I'm saying, we grow, we chop, we freeze, and we eat over the winter. So what I'm saying, that alone like help the pockets. What I'm saying, being able to go in the backyard and pick corn, pick pepper, zucchinis, what I'm saying, whatever else, what I'm saying, we got growing back there. Like, the sun is free. Like, it's crazy. But we saved a lot of money last year because, what I'm saying, we was out there farming and, what I'm saying, getting it in. But that's also, just being outside is a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? Soaking up all that like when everybody else was inside on the AC, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be outside soaking up the sun. And I think the sun like helped. I think, what I'm saying, being out there in the sun, it helped rejuvenate my cells. Like, I just felt strong, and I just felt like continuing, you know what I'm saying? So I went out there every day, 6, 7, 8 hours, and was just working, you know what I'm saying? It felt good. It felt real good to do that much when I wasn't able to do anything, and to actually stay out there for that long, knowing, what I'm saying, where I was coming from and how I was like totally like depleted. It was a great feeling to knowing that I could actually do that. So hopefully, not hopefully, but willfully, next year is going to be some of the same thing where we're going to be outside just going crazy. The apple trees, the cherry trees is booming already. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely gotta take advantage of what's free in the world. And what I'm saying, the sun is one of those things. So yeah, definitely you definitely gotta get yourself checked out. But physical exam, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you could just see what's wrong. But a lot of the times you need, some kind of scan. And a lot of the times scan happens when you complain about pain. When you complain about not feeling good, or not being able to breathe properly, like, then you go into to stage two, where they gotta scan your body. You know what I'm saying? Look inside to see what's going on, check your organs. You know what I'm saying? Only certain cancers you're able to identify quickly, right? Yeah, all the grounding that comes with gardening. Yes, yes, it's very important, man. It's it makes you feel a certain kind of way, and one of the most important things is the food tastes different. The food tastes different. I'm used to when I grew up, right? When I was little. They used to make this soup, and the corn in the soup used to taste a certain kind of way. And I'm telling you, I haven't tasted a corn. Excuse me. I haven't tasted this kind of corn uh, in years, right? And I'm under the understanding that the reason why the corn tastes the way it did, close to when I was a youth, was because the corn had a chance to get fully matured in the sun. Majority of what we eat nowadays, they don't get the full sun to ripen, right? But when you can ripen your fruits or even your corn in the sun and get that full sun ripening, like the stuff you eat tastes way different. And I think that's the advantage. One, it is cost effective. All you need is seed and fertilizer. A bag of seeds is like $1.50. Fertilizer is like $20, $30. But the taste that you get from the food is like 10 times better. Trust me. The food grown in the sun is 10 times better than what what I'm saying you pick up in the stores. That is like hands down, and that's one of the main reasons why you know gardening is so important. Trust me. I'm trying to get my moms to put some fruit trees in front of the house because there's a lot of sun. You know what I'm saying? That beams down. Um, there's a lot of sun, and the sun stays out for a while too. There's even stuff that you can grow in the winter. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cabbages, a lot of lettuce, stuff like that. You can even grow in the winter. You know. So for the true farmers out there, yeah, y'all doing it. All right, y'all doing it. So like I said, a lot of the discovery that comes from seeing inside the body, and those things comes from you feeling some kind of pain. You feeling something somewhere. A doctor can't see inside of you, so they gotta go send for a scan. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, sometimes you scan the body, there's nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that the doctor can tell you, because sometimes, a lot of the times, you can tell more so than the doctor. When you go to the doctor, they're gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions. Based on the answer to the question, they then come to a conclusion. So you had the answers inside you the whole time. You just didn't know how to put it together, right? But absolutely, the sun changes us. It definitely does. It did it for me. Like I'm telling you, I felt strong. Like I felt real good being out there in that sun, man. It's for me. I'm just attracted to the sunbeam. I'm just attracted to that light, you know. But definitely feeling of pain. I'm saying that's what my first experience was. My first experience was both my kidneys, liver, pancreas, everything was swollen. Right, you didn't even have to like do no MRI with me to know that something was wrong. You could just look at me and tell like, yo, something is wrong. My stomach was way out, way out. Like I was pregnant. Like everything was out, pancreas, everything. And that's why they thought I had pancreatic cancer. The size of my pancreas are so enlarged. Like they thought, okay, pancreatic cancer. And then that led to my liver and my kidneys being, what I'm saying, also swollen. But it wasn't actual pancreatic cancer, it was the lymphoma and the Waldenstrom's. So much of it deposited elsewhere in your body. And that's another thing. The Waldenstrom and lymphoma build up so much that it deposited into other organs. Like, it's crazy. But my kidney, liver, pancreas was all filled with cancer cells, right? So I had the big stomach, so you could look and tell something was wrong, but you really didn't know what was wrong until you was able to look inside my body. And once they were able to scan and have a look to see what's going on inside my body, it's like, okay, boom, it was cancer. You know what I'm saying? So, and half of that, you saw the soreness, but the pain, there was a certain level of pain that came with my stomach, and my stomach just kept on getting bigger, kept on getting bigger. And I remember my mother is a doctor, and she, was examining me along the way. And, you know, the first thing that happened when I went to see my primary, they thought it was some stomach infection. So week after taking medicine, nothing changed, and my stomach kept getting bigger, and it kept getting harder. And my mom was like, "Nah, this is not normal. Like, emergency room right away." And you know what I'm saying, if she ain't really pushed that notion, maybe we wouldn't have found out that quickly. You know what I'm saying, what the problem was. But the pain is one of the main reasons why um, they're gonna look deeper and they're gonna try to find out what's wrong and if something is wrong. Uh, and if it's a lung issue, breathing, and a lot of times like pre-exposed things. If you asthma, if you got COPD, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna affect you having cancer or getting cancer in the future because you have certain issues. Like, you know what I'm saying, that's a thing. These previous diagnoses can affect you. You know what I'm saying, being diagnosed with cancer in the future. So, when you complain of these things, these pain, the things you're feeling, they're gonna go through the MRI, the X-rays. They're gonna look inside your body and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, hey Walida, what's going on with you? Appreciate it. Love you too. Walida, she's also one of my nurses in the that helped. Matter of fact, she helped give me my first chemo treatment. Um, Around this time 2021, because I started my chemo treatment the day after my son's birthday. My son's birthday is on the 3rd of next month, so it was right around this time 2021 when I started my chemo treatment. And Walida, the beautiful, amazing Walida, was there to help me get my first chemo treatment. And it's been a part of my journey the whole time, even the last even early this year in January when had to go back because the cancer came back. She was there. She was still active, making sure we okay. You know what I'm saying? Coming to see us, like, appreciate you so much, Miss Walida. Appreciate you so much. Um, yeah, of course. I got a rep for my queen all the time, all the time. If it wasn't for her, trust me, I wouldn't be sitting here. You know what I'm saying? Looking as strong and as good as I am today. You know what I'm saying? She's the my secret weapon or my superpower is being able to recover. But none of that is possible without my beautiful wife and everything that she's able to assist me with, help me with. You know what I'm saying? Even when I wasn't coherent, even when I wasn't like knew what was going on, she was still moving my body, exercising, trying to help me out while I wasn't even like up to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, that helped me. She was helping me recover before I could even like physically thought about recovering. You know what I'm saying? Besides her saving my life, catching me and, you know what I'm saying, preventing me from busting my head open, you know what I'm saying, and calling the rescue team to help me when I had my situation when I was unconscious. She's been there for me, man. She's been there for me. And one of the most important things, like I said it before and I say it again, like the way she made me feel when I was at my worst, it was so important because she never changed. Not one day she looked at me. Like I looked at myself in the mirror, I'm like, damn, bro, like you look rough, skin and bones. Like what the cancer can do to you, what the chemo can do to you. And every day she kept the same energy. You know what I'm saying? And I did so much for my self confidence to like really like, get myself together and not feel sorry for myself because no matter what, she kept the same energy. So, big ups to the wife, because without that support system, man, it's hard, and that's half of the reason why I come on here and I do this live. Is I'm trying to send across certain energy that you're not alone. You might be alone in a hospital at the moment, but for whatever reason, your journey is you're not alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is half of the reason why I'm doing this, is to try to help somebody else that doesn't have the support system that I have go through the whole process. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm trying to, going through the process without that kind of support system, because what I'm saying, from experience, I know how important it is, man. And that's why that they're coming on here live, being able to speak to somebody live. Also, what I'm saying, I think is a very important thing. To be able to connect with somebody live, I think is very powerful. To know that, yeah, I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? You're going through this. I'm specifically speaking to you and trying to lift your spirit and try to get you to overcome this. You know what I'm saying? Because cancer is beatable. I've done it twice. You know what I'm saying? And if you know what I'm saying, God forbids it's not coming back, but you know what I'm saying, whatever, I'm always willing to, what I'm saying, do whatever it takes to get myself where I want to be. So, you know, yeah, just trying to, share and trying to help and trying to, because I know this is a hell of a thing, man. Going through this is a hell of a thing. And I lost a friend just a couple weeks ago. Lost a friend, you know, and I wish I could do more. I wish I could have did more, but at the time I was going through it myself. That person was up because we met in the hospital. Going, what I'm saying, we met on the cancer floor. So, I wish there was more I could do. You know what I'm saying, but at the time, it wasn't a lot that I could do. But now, as I got more energy, you know, this is why we're doing it, is to try to make a connection and try to help somebody. And like I said, it doesn't have to be cancer. It could be whatever. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff is the same. No matter what you're diagnosed with, it's the same. Recovery, it's the same. Thinking positive, like, half of it is your mind. The mind tells your body what to do. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be in a positive mindset and keep your body going so it can do what it's doing. Because I'm not doing anything special. I'm telling you, I might be taking pills, but the pills that I'm taking is to fight off infection, because my immune system is low. I'm not taking super pills to get stronger. I ain't doing none of that. Pills is just to keep me from getting infections. But my body, is doing things that I didn't even know was possible. Every day I wake up, every day, every day I wake up, I feel stronger. Every day. You know what I'm saying? And today was one of them days where I went to the cancer center and I didn't need a blood transfusion. I didn't need a platelet transfusion. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing, because ever since January, every other day I have needed either a blood or a platelet transfusion. Every other day. And it's been about 3 days. And hopefully, willfully, when I go back Wednesday, because I go 3 times a week, um, I got a gastro appointment tomorrow at the hospital. So, and it's crazy. It's appointments every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's appointment every day. But hopefully, when I go back Wednesday, I will not have no issues. You know what I'm saying? And my counts will still be above water. Yeah, moms, God is great all the time. As they say, God is great all the time. So you know, we about to wrap it up, because we're here to do what we do for our 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I'm here, trying to do what I can to make a difference, and also to make my mother proud. That's half of the reason why I also do this, so, like I said, life changes. You got to adapt to it, You get cancer now, you can't work anymore, You got to find ways to survive. So guess what? You start farming. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. So, life comes at you, man. It's just figure out a way to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep that support system around you. That's why you gotta be nice to people, because you're gonna need people. Best believe that you can't live this life by yourself. That's impossible. You know what I'm saying? You need people, right? So just keep that positive energy going, right? Make sure that we all okay. Check on your friends and your family. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we're back here Wednesday to do it again, to keep pushing that message forward. And any other updates that happens, definitely be willing to share. I have a video that I'm not sure if I'm gonna publish, but it's a hilarious video. So you know what I'm saying. Keep tuned for when I might put that video up. But thank you for watching. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for spending this hour with, what I'm saying, me and everybody on the chat. You know what I'm saying? We like family here. So, what I'm saying, Rose, Moms, Walida, Zab, Winsome, what I'm saying? Everybody, just thank y'all for tuning in and, what I'm saying, being a part of what we trying to do here. You know what I'm saying? So, blood donation, very important. Please donate. Um, please donate. If you have, thank you. If you thought about it, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and do it, because if it wasn't for you know what I'm saying, you guys out there donating blood, I wouldn't be here today. That's a fact. I would not be here today. So that's also one of the reasons why we come on here live, is to encourage the blood donation. Like I said, just keep the positivity going, and you know what I'm saying. Make sure you do something to help somebody and make a difference in somebody's life. Okay, so see you back here on Wednesday at 7 p.m.